Ladies, today I want to talk to you about something that has the power to transform your relationship with not just the men in your life, but also your relationship with yourself. It's about a force that's been underestimated, misunderstood, and often undervalued. I'm talking about you, your energy, your presence, and the subtle yet powerful magic that you radiate when you decide to step into your own power and walk away. When you prioritize your own well-being and value yourself, you radiate an energy that draws others in. This is the magnetic power of self-worth, a force that often goes unnoticed in relationships. Many people, especially women, are taught to seek external validation, to mold themselves to fit the needs and desires of others. However, the moment you begin to understand and embrace your intrinsic worth, you shift the dynamics of how others perceive you and interact with you. It is this inner confidence that becomes magnetic, drawing people, particularly men, towards you in ways they cannot resist. But at the core of this magnetic energy is the simple yet profound truth that people are attracted to confidence. Confidence does not come from being perfect or never making mistakes. It comes from accepting who you are at your core, with all your flaws and strengths, and knowing that you are enough. When you walk through the world with this kind of self-assurance, it signals to others that you are grounded in your own identity. It makes you unshakable, even in the face of challenges. This sense of security in oneself is something that others often lack, and it creates a pull that cannot easily be ignored. For women, in particular, there is often a societal pressure to seek approval from those around them. Whether it's from a partner, family, or friends, women are sometimes conditioned to feel that their worth is tied to how much they can give, please, or sacrifice for others. But when a woman learns to focus on her own happiness, when she values herself above all else, something magical happens. She no longer needs to seek validation from anyone else. She begins to radiate a sense of completeness, a sense that she is already enough, just as she is. This is the energy that draws people in. It is not the need for external validation that creates attraction, but the self-assurance that you do not need anyone's approval to feel whole. Men, in particular, are drawn to women who exude this type of energy. While societal norms have conditioned many men to be the pursuers, they too seek something deeper, a partner who is secure in herself, who knows her worth, and who does not need to be constantly reassured. This kind of woman creates a dynamic where the man's attraction is not based on the woman seeking his validation, but on the magnetic pull of her self-sufficiency. There is something irresistibly attractive about a person who is confident in their own skin, who does not need another person to feel complete, but is instead already whole. The moment you start valuing yourself, you stop tolerating behavior or situations that do not serve you. This shift is felt by everyone around you. You no longer tolerate disrespect, nor do you wait for others to tell you that you matter. You walk into every room with the understanding that your worth is not up for negotiation. This is the energy that causes others to take notice, especially those who may have once taken you for granted. When you stop seeking their approval and instead start affirming your own value, they feel the shift. They realize that your energy is no longer focused on them, and that absence makes them reflect on what they had. The attraction becomes less about chasing and more about the power of your self-assurance. This shift in energy does not just affect men, but anyone you come into contact with. When you stand firm in your own self-worth, people around you begin to recognize your value. They start to respect you more because they see that you respect yourself. And this is the essence of the magnetic energy I'm speaking about. The power is not in the chase, but in the self-awareness and acceptance you hold for yourself. It is this energy that makes you magnetic, not because you are perfect or flawless, but because you are whole. In relationships, the person who is truly magnetic is not the one who seeks to please or is constantly trying to prove their worth, but the one who stands firm in who they are. The moment you stop seeking external validation and start affirming your own value, you begin to attract the right people into your life. They are drawn to your energy, your presence, and your ability to be at peace with yourself. It is this energy that becomes a beacon to those who want to be around you, to those who recognize that your value is not up for debate. The more you embody this energy, the more it becomes undeniable. People feel it, they see it, and they cannot resist it. When you radiate self-worth, you become magnetic because you no longer need anyone else to complete you. You are already complete, and it is this completeness that others are drawn to. You've learned to love and accept yourself first, and in doing so, you create an energy that is irresistible. Walking away is not a sign of weakness, it's a powerful statement of self-respect and self-love. Many people, especially women, are conditioned to believe that relationships require constant effort, and that walking away means you've failed or you're giving up. But the truth is, walking away often signifies the opposite. It shows strength, self-awareness, and the courage to protect your emotional well-being. It's a recognition that you deserve to be treated with respect, love, and care, and if that is not happening, then it's time to take a step back, to walk away, and allow space for change. The act of walking away is deeply empowering because it means you're no longer willing to settle for anything less than what you deserve. It is not about throwing away a relationship or cutting someone off out of anger or frustration. It's about taking control of your emotional state and your future. Walking away is an intentional decision to prioritize your own happiness, your own peace, and your own growth. When you walk away, you are making the statement that you are worthy of love and respect, and you will no longer settle for anything less. This decision often comes after a period of introspection where you've evaluated the relationship and recognized that it isn't fulfilling you or that it's draining you emotionally, mentally, or physically. You begin to realize that your time and energy are precious and you deserve to invest them in relationships that nourish and uplift you. Walking away is an acknowledgement of your own worth, a refusal to tolerate disrespect, dishonesty, or neglect. You refuse to stay in a situation that compromises your self-esteem and your happiness, no matter how attached you may feel to that person or relationship. Walking away is also an act of self-love because it shows that you are willing to choose yourself above all else. It's an understanding that true love for yourself comes from creating boundaries and protecting your own heart. People often stay in relationships because they fear being alone or fear what others will think. But the truth is, walking away opens up the space for you to reconnect with yourself. It allows you to rediscover your own strength, resilience, and sense of purpose. It allows you to heal, to grow, and to become the best version of yourself. When you choose to walk away from a situation that no longer serves you, you are choosing a future filled with possibilities. You are trusting that something better is waiting for you, something that aligns with your highest good. For many, walking away is a difficult and painful decision, especially when emotions are deeply involved. But in those moments of pain, the greatest transformation happens. You begin to rebuild your sense of self-worth. You realize that you don't need someone else to complete you, that your happiness doesn't depend on the validation of others. When you walk away from a relationship that doesn't honor you, you are creating the space to let in the kind of love that truly supports you, a love that is nurturing, fulfilling, and mutual. The more you love and respect yourself, the more you will attract the kind of people who treat you with the same level of respect. Sometimes walking away is not a permanent decision. It may be that by walking away you are giving the relationship the time and space it needs to evolve or heal. People grow and change and relationships can be rebuilt, but only when both people are willing to invest in the work required. Walking away doesn't necessarily mean you're cutting ties forever. It can be a necessary pause, a chance to reevaluate and reassess. It's a chance for both individuals to reflect on what they truly want and whether they are willing to meet each other halfway. But even in this pause, the act of walking away sends a powerful message, one that signals you are no longer willing to be treated in ways that diminish your worth. In walking away, you also demonstrate to others the importance of self-respect. When you show that you value yourself, you set the standard for how others should treat you. You teach them without words that respect is not negotiable, that boundaries are to be honored, and that self-care is non-negotiable. You don't need to scream, beg, or plead for someone's attention or affection. When you walk away, you allow the other person to feel the weight of your absence, and this often leads to introspection on their part. They are forced to confront the reality of what they've lost, what they've taken for granted, and what they may need to change. The moment you walk away, you shift the power dynamic. No longer are you chasing after someone's affection. You stand in your own power, demonstrating that your love is something that is earned, not demanded. Walking away is not easy, but it is one of the most empowering actions you can take. It shows that you are in charge of your own happiness and that you will no longer tolerate being treated in a way that diminishes your worth. It is a declaration of your value and a recognition that you deserve to be surrounded by people who lift you up, not drain you. In the end, walking away is a choice for yourself, a decision to protect your peace and your heart and to create space for the right people to enter your life. And that, in itself, is an incredibly powerful act of self-love. The power of absence is a phenomenon that often goes unnoticed, but it plays a pivotal role in relationships, especially when you choose to walk away. When you create distance, whether emotionally or physically, it forces the other person to reflect on what they had and what they've lost. This absence becomes a mirror that amplifies the value you once brought into their life. It makes them confront their own feelings, their actions, and their relationship with you. The absence is not just about physical space, it's an emotional and psychological space that can make someone realize how important you were and how much they truly value your presence. The absence you create isn't an attempt to manipulate, but rather an unspoken acknowledgement that you are no longer available for the things that drain or disrespect you. This can be the catalyst for change, both for the person who's left behind and for you. In relationships, it's easy to get caught in the cycle of trying to constantly prove your worth, to keep giving and offering more of yourself in hopes that the other person will realize how much you care or how much you bring to the table. But what often happens is that the more you give, the more the other person begins to take for granted your presence and the efforts you're putting in. They may not even realize what they had until it's no longer there. This is where the power of absence comes into play. By walking away, you stop playing the role of the one who is always available, the one who is always trying to please or make the other person appreciate you. When you withdraw, you create a void, a space that they now have to reckon with. They no longer have easy access to you or your time, and this forces them to reflect on your value in their life. Absence also serves as a powerful reminder of how much someone needs to change or grow in order to be worthy of your time and affection. Sometimes people take relationships for granted, assuming that no matter what happens, the other person will always be there. But when you create that absence, you force them to realize that they can't take you for granted forever. They have to make a conscious effort to earn back your trust, your attention, and your love. This can be a wake-up call for them, one that brings them back to the realization that their actions have consequences and that they must invest in making the relationship healthy and mutually respectful. The absence creates the perfect environment for self-reflection, not just for you, but for the other person as well. For you, the absence gives you the opportunity to step back, reassess, and focus on yourself. It provides the necessary space for you to heal, grow, and reconnect with your own sense of identity and purpose. When we are constantly around others, especially in unhealthy or imbalanced relationships, it's easy to lose sight of who we are, what we want, and what we deserve. By creating space, you allow yourself the freedom to reconnect with your own energy, to rediscover what makes you whole, and to regain the strength to set healthy boundaries. The absence isn't just about making someone miss you. It's about making sure that you never forget your own worth and never lose sight of your own needs. This period of absence also allows for clarity. Sometimes, when we're in the midst of a relationship, especially one that is draining or unfulfilling, it's hard to see things clearly. Emotions can cloud our judgment, and we may become so attached to the idea of the relationship that we lose sight of the reality of it. Walking away or creating distance forces both parties to take a step back and look at the relationship objectively. It offers a chance for both to see what's really going on and to decide if this relationship is truly serving both of their needs. The absence allows you to observe the situation from a distance, giving you the clarity you need to make decisions that are in your best interest. It's during this time that you might realize how much energy was being drained from you and how much more space and peace you have when you're no longer engaged in unhealthy dynamics. Absence is not just a physical act, it is a powerful emotional and psychological tool that brings about change. For the person you've walked away from, it's a wake-up call that forces them to evaluate what they've lost, to realize that they have to work to regain your trust and attention. For you, it is an opportunity to reconnect with yourself, to reevaluate the relationship and your needs, and to create space for self-care and growth. The absence forces both parties to slow down, take a step back, and evaluate whether the relationship is truly in alignment with their values and desires. It may take time, but the power of absence has the potential to bring about healing, growth, and transformation in ways that remaining in a toxic or unfulfilling relationship simply cannot. Absence is powerful because it creates the space for reflection, change, and healing. It allows both individuals to gain perspective on what is truly important and whether they are willing to invest in a healthier, more balanced dynamic. In the end, the absence doesn't just change the relationship, it changes you, giving you the power to take control of your own life and decide what you truly want and deserve. When you walk away, it sends a powerful message not only to the person you're walking away from, but also to yourself. The truth is that many people, especially women, struggle with the idea of walking away from a relationship. There's an inherent fear that walking away means you're giving up, that you're failing, or that you'll be left alone. But in reality, walking away is often the most courageous and empowering choice you can make. It's an act of self-respect, a boundary that protects your well-being, and a declaration of your value. It's a choice to honor yourself and create the space for something better to enter your life. Walking away is about taking control, reclaiming your power, and showing that you will no longer accept less than you deserve. The act of walking away is a deliberate decision made with intention, and it often forces the other person to take notice. When you remove yourself from a situation, whether it's a relationship that's become toxic or one that no longer serves you, you create space for them to feel the weight of your absence. The truth is, many people do not realize how much they value someone until that person is no longer around. In relationships, it's easy for one person to take the other for granted, assuming that no matter what they do, the other person will always be there. But when you make the decision to walk away, you remove that safety net. The absence forces the other person to confront the reality of losing you, and in doing so, it may lead them to evaluate their actions, behaviors, and feelings. In this space, they have the opportunity to reflect on what they had and whether they are willing to do the work to earn back your trust, love, and presence. It's important to recognize that by walking away, you are not giving up, rather, you are creating the conditions for growth, both for yourself and for the other person. The power of absence lies not just in the space it creates, but in the effect it has on the dynamics of the relationship. When you choose to walk away, you make a bold statement that your presence and time are valuable, and you will no longer settle for anything less than what you deserve. Many people, especially women, have been taught to value themselves based on their relationship with others. Society often tells us that we need someone else to validate our worth, that we are incomplete without the love and attention of others. But walking away is an act of defiance against these societal norms. It is a recognition that your worth is not defined by someone else's ability to love you, but by your own ability to love and respect yourself. By walking away, you are setting a standard for how you expect to be treated, and you are teaching others to respect your boundaries and your needs. When you walk away from a relationship that no longer serves you, you are also creating the space for something better to enter your life. Often we stay in relationships that drain us, hold us back, or don't fulfill us because we fear being alone or losing the connection we've built. But what we fail to realize is that when we stay in situations that are not aligned with our highest good, we are blocking the possibility of something better. Walking away opens the door for new opportunities, for new people, and for new experiences that are more in alignment with the person you are becoming. It is through this space that you are able to grow, to heal, and to become the best version of yourself. The fear of walking away often stems from the belief that we are giving up on something we once cared about, but in truth, walking away is often the first step toward moving towards something greater. It is an act of faith, a belief that better things are on the horizon. Walking away also provides the opportunity for self-reflection and self-growth. In many relationships, especially those that are toxic or unbalanced, we can lose sight of who we are, what we want, and what we deserve. We become so wrapped up in the dynamics of the relationship that we forget to prioritize our own needs, our own happiness, and our own sense of identity. When you walk away, you give yourself the space to rediscover who you are outside of the relationship. You reconnect with your own energy, your own desires, and your own purpose. This time apart from the relationship allows you to reflect on what you truly want in life, in love, and in relationships. You begin to understand your own value, and you become less willing to settle for less than what you deserve. Walking away, in this sense, is an act of self-love. It is a choice to prioritize your own well-being, to reclaim your power, and to set yourself on a path of growth and transformation. Another important aspect of walking away is the way it shifts the power dynamic in the relationship. In many cases, we stay in relationships where we feel we are giving more than we are receiving, where we are constantly trying to please the other person or earn their love and affection. When you walk away, you stop chasing after someone who may not appreciate you the way you deserve. You stop allowing yourself to be in a situation where you are not being treated with the love and respect you give. By walking away, you are putting the control back in your hands. No longer are you waiting for someone else to change or validate you. Instead, you are choosing to take control of your own life and your own happiness. In doing so, you send a powerful message that you are not willing to compromise your value or your peace for anyone. Walking away is not a permanent decision for everyone, and it doesn't always mean the end of a relationship. Sometimes it is a necessary pause, a period of space that allows both parties to reflect and reassess what they want and need from the relationship. During this time apart, the absence can be a catalyst for change, forcing both individuals to recognize what's truly important and whether they are willing to invest in creating a healthier, more balanced dynamic. In this sense, walking away can be a form of self-preservation and a way to give both people the chance to reflect on their own growth and the future of the relationship. The decision to walk away from a relationship is one of the most empowering choices you can make. It is a choice that reflects your self-worth, your boundaries, and your desire for growth. It's an acknowledgement that you deserve love and respect, and that you will not tolerate being treated any less. It is also a powerful tool for transformation, allowing both you and the other person to step back, reflect, and make the necessary changes to create healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Walking away is not a failure, it is a courageous act of self-love and a belief that something better is waiting for you on the other side. It is through this act that you can reclaim your power, your peace, and your future.